Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is day 28 of my 30-day challenge, and it is a beautiful hot day out today. It's like August 16th, I believe, 17th, I don't know. Definitely need to get better with my dates for this thing, huh? Anyway, we have today's going to be a wonderful day. Tell yourself that. It's going to be a wonderful day, all right? So, let's start off the quote. We do not remember days, we remember moments. Thinking back in my childhood, I've been trying to force to for this seminar coming up, I'm participating in. And they always try to tell you to look back at your childhood traumas and events and all that. And you're right, I can remember some moments. Am I going to remember the date? Maybe if it was a moment on my birthday or something, but I still couldn't tell you if that was a Tuesday or Wednesday back then, right? So we don't remember days. We don't really remember conversations. What we remember is moments. What we remember is how we felt. We remember the good, the bad, the excitement, the trauma, the feelings involved. And it's important because that's what shapes our stories. That's what shapes our future if we allow it to. We attach these same feelings with the same outcomes of the past, even though every day is different. I might feel the same way today as I felt in my past. I'm going to be negative about it, or this is what it might lead to, or whatever, even though the situation is completely different, right? And that's, I feel, what a lot of people struggle with today. They're allowing their past to make decisions for their future, and they're hoping for different outcomes, right? I don't know. I feel like I'm repeating myself with the health questions over and over and over. It's the same kind of stuff, you know. How can we stay consistent with our health and fitness? Again, you know what you're doing. It's there. You have to listen to yourself. You have to build up confidence within your word. You know, I think everybody's smart enough to understand that Cheetos are not healthy for you, right? Supplemented for an apple or carrots. Carrots, they kind of look like Cheetos, right? We all know what to mainly do, and it all depends on where you're at. You know, this conversation might be a little bit different for somebody that is, like competition bodybuilder versus someone that hasn't taken care of their health and fitness in a few years. Right? This conversation would be two completely different ones, but we all ultimately know how we can be better with our health and fitness, and it's not necessarily about getting started. It's not necessarily about this whole new concept or this new diet pill, this new program, it has nothing to do with that. It has, the only thing that matters is if you hold your word accountable. You tell yourself you're going to go work out. You tell yourself you're not going to eat this tonight, don't eat that. Throw it away. If you have to forcefully waste money, this is what I do to kind of break some habits that I have. Let's just say I bought ice cream. I don't want to be eating ice cream. I'll eat a little bit, I'll throw the rest away. And then to me, it's like, I just wasted something. That triggers an emotion. I don't want to waste it. So what happens next time I go to the store? I don't want to waste money. I'm not going to buy it. All right? Got to do stuff like that. Let's talk about crypto. We have a good conversation about crypto today. It's about lending. All right? And this is where a lot of people get wrapped up in some lending platforms. People, there's one common thing. If people can make you money, they won't need you. They won't need your money. They'll be making money for themselves, right? But for some reason, we get trapped into these yields, these lending protocols, these high yield platforms, like Celsius, FTX, even Coinbase today, tells you that they'll give you 5%. Where does that money come from, right? How are they making that money to give you 5%? So These lending platforms, let's talk about them. Some of the higher ones, they work until they don't. What that means is, like if you heard of Luna, you heard of Terra Luna and so forth back in 2021, it was given about 18 or 19%. Sometimes it would fluctuate up to about 19.7%, I believe that's what they said. And you can stake a stable coin on there and make 20% a year doing nothing. It worked until it didn't. And when it didn't work, it absolutely collapsed and everything just fell. So everybody lost their money. That was the big bang in crypto back in 2021. Now, why didn't it work? It did work. It worked for over a year. I made decent money for over a year. I made 20% of my money doing that, and it was wonderful. It worked until it didn't work, and then it kind of collapsed, and everybody pretty much lost everything. All right. They even had like an insurance to trick you. And if it all goes down, all goes bust, we have insurance, and your yields are guaranteed, and your collateral is guaranteed, you get your money back, whatever. But if you really, really dig in deep, you really take your time to really learn what it was about, how the protocol worked, is once it stopped working, it would create massive inflation that would devalue the protocol in order to try to pay for itself. And basically, it would just eat itself alive. Now, in order to find that information, how it worked, it took some of the smartest people in the world to figure it out. I myself am not that smart. I couldn't figure that out. But what I could do is I could rely on other people and I could listen to other words. If you're going to put your money in something, you should probably research what your money is in, right? Research, and also try to find the negative reviews and see what they're saying. Now, when I had my money in Terra Luna, I read a big research article on how it would fail. There were so many people saying it couldn't fail, it's guaranteed, it's backed by insurance, all this stuff. But I wanted to hear the person that said, this is how it will fail. And he got it exactly right. He was just about 6-7 months off on timeline of when it might fail. But he painted a picture of when there's a problem, you'll start to see this. And once I started to see that, I got my money out. I got my money out just in time to not lose everything. But there's a lot of people that didn't. There's a lot of people that believed that it was guaranteed, that was used to the rewards. Now, what is this story really talking about? The story is really talking about that no matter what you're doing, even in the stock market, in the real world, you have to research both sides of the story. And I'm going to tell you right here, right now, that I am convinced that one day the stock market is going to suffer a catastrophic cyber attack or some type of hack, some type of event where majority of the people that think that they own stocks will no longer own stocks. You do not have ownership. Most people do not have certificates of their stock. Their brokers do, and their brokers are lending them out. And their brokers don't even have the shares to the stocks that they claim to have because they're being lent out so many different times to so many different people. How can 10 people own the same stock at one time, basically, right? And so these Ponzi schemes, these lending platforms, these gambling platforms, these trading platforms will work until they don't. And why did Terra Luna blow up? Normally these platforms start to blow up when it has catastrophic, more downside events. When things are going up, it's easy to continue to pay with other people's money, right? Kind of what we're seeing in the stock market. The stock market kind of always goes up. It's easier to continuously to pay with other people's money. But once you see a massive, devastating loss, like I'm talking 10% down days, they cut the breakers multiple days in a row, we will start to see the cracks. We'll start to see who owns what and what owns who. And then the reality will kind of come about the situation. Now, they won't do that until they have a replacement set up. What is that replacement? That replacement is a decentralized financial market, which is cryptocurrency. We're still a few years away, I believe. My hope would be about 4 years out or more, because I realize that if that day were to happen, and does happen, most people around me, most businesses around me, most older people around me, their lives depend on this market. Even though the top 20% of America only own stocks, it'd be a massive wealth transfer, and I don't think there would be ever going back from an event like that. But it will pave the way for tokenization and tokenized assets. That way people can actually physically own their assets in a very fast, immutable, secure way. And however, I don't think the technology, honestly, is quite there yet for it to happen. I definitely think this is where we're headed. I definitely think that this is where they're going to invest in to build out. This will be the liquidity event where the market pumps. That way they can develop the platforms that are going to ultimately take the business of the American financial markets. Anyway, I'm just blabbing away, repeating things over and over. Don't even know what I'm talking about at this moment. But I got a couple more days of this, and it was good. It was a good run. Good for me to get out, try to think. Definitely need to up my game and create a better challenge for me to do in the morning. That only takes 10 minutes or something. Anyway, love ya. Peace.